Hey everybody, how's it going? So it all comes down to this. My last Primus review. Been doing the whole discography and I'm finally on the last one. Primus and the Chocolate Factory with the Fungi Ensemble. And this is their 8th studio album. Even though this isn't original material, obviously. It was released October 21st, 2014. Tim Alexander Herb came back for this album. Apparently he didn't want to play on the originals album. He wanted to play on the covers. Features the album is a cover of the entire soundtrack for Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I forgot which one is the original one. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Willy Wonka. I think it's Willy Wonka, but they cover the whole soundtrack. And Les Claypool loves this movie. He has an obsession with this movie. He hates the remake. There's interviews. He goes into it. He hates the Tim Burton remake. He feels like I do about Tim Burton. He doesn't do remakes very well, and I would totally agree with that. And he hasn't. I'm a fan of Tim Burton's early stuff, not really a lot of his later stuff, but they cover the whole soundtrack, and it's this whole production. They released albums. They released it on vinyl, and some of them got a golden ticket with it, which entitled people, if you want it, entitled you to a free Primus show, I believe, which is pretty awesome. I didn't get one, of course. And they also, at their shows were just this big extravaganza where Les Claypool dressed up like Willy Wonka, which isn't too much of a stretch for me. Les Claypool and Willy Wonka, they kind of got a lot in common when you think about it. And they had like a big screen behind them. I actually got to see them on this tour in Syracuse, and they had a big screen behind them that showed clips from the movie, and it just went along really well with it. They also did they did a thing they did with Green Naugahyde where they'd have a set of their normal stuff, and then they'd have a set where they'd just cover this whole thing. And eventually the rights to show clips from the movie ran out, and they had to stop doing it. But I'll talk about the album a little bit. I'm not going to get too much into the songs because they're covers of the soundtrack. Not much to say about them. They put Primus's spin on them, definitely. They're not exactly like the original songs. They're a bit weirder. They're a bit more Primus. I do enjoy it. It's not one of my favorites Primus has ever done, but I do enjoy it. Originally, Les was talking about doing a cover of the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour album, which would have been really interesting. I'd still like to hear that, but they opted out and did the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and Les said he was kind of relieved they did because around the same time, the Flaming Lips, which is another one of my favorite bands, they covered Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and released that, so they were happy they didn't do the same thing the Flaming Lips were doing. As far as the album's concerned, like I said, I like it. It's not one of my favorites. If you're into Willy Wonka, if you're into all that, the Chocolate Factory, give it a listen. It's definitely interesting. Like I said, Les and Primus definitely put their spin on these songs, and they're definitely a little creepier than they were before. Not that they weren't creepy before. The whole Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory thing is with Gene Wilder is creepy enough as it is. But he makes it just a little creepier, and there's nothing wrong with that. Also at the shows, they had their own line of candy bars they gave out. Well, they didn't give it out. You had to buy them. Pretty expensive for candy bars, too. But I had to get one when I went, so I did. I ate the candy bar a long time ago, but I kept the wrapper. So I got the Professor Nut Butter bar. Anyone who knows me well, my email is Professor Nut Butter. And just a lot of my stuff has to do with Primus. So I had to get the Professor Nut Butter bar. There it is again. Primus the Chocolate Factory. Milk chocolate with peanuts. It was very good. I forgot the other candy bars they had. I know they had a Mr. Crinkle bar. I forgot what the other ones were, but I wasn't going to buy all of them because they were really expensive for candy bars, but I had to get one. So I'm probably going to keep that wrapper forever because it's awesome. But yeah, what would I give this? It's hard to rate. What do I give this? Because it's not a normal Primus album. It's not a Primus EP. It's a cover of a whole soundtrack, so it's pretty hard to rate. I'll give this a 7. It's not great, unless you're a gigantic fan of the source material. Then I imagine you probably like it more. I do like it. I do like the source material, but I'm not obsessed with it like some people are. Not as much as Les Claypool is. But it's good. It's Primus. It's weird. And that's all I gotta say. So I hope you enjoyed my Primus reviews. I will be doing more reviews soon. I will be posting a video about what I'm going to be doing for my next set of reviews. So stay tuned for that. And a little over a month now till I see Primus again for the 10th time. And I got them all done. I'm pretty happy about that. So, yeah. Have a great day, everybody. And remember that Primus sucks. And go see Primus on this tour because it's going to be awesome. See you later.